Hey fam, brother Rod son, tapping in the Galactic Studio. Once again, we're going to the conclusion of the Akashic Records, where we were unlocking the secret universal knowledge and nature of the Akasha, including prayer, guided meditation, and the Akashic tarot readings. We've gone through all that. Now we're at the conclusion. And it says, it's not easy to carefully balance the spiritual worldly desires, especially if you're engulfed in personal wars that involve both spiritual and material elements. It's easy to see whether someone is living in harmony and tranquility or is unstable or instability caused by many contradictions they have to accept to go forward. The link between the spiritual and material world is in the Akashic Records, transcending time and space, dealing with vibrations and energy. Your eyes may be able to carefully observe the present, but it is the Akashic Records that allow you to see beyond the present and into the past and future. The materials provided here will be your ammunition as you grapple between the different and contrasting worlds of your life. Use the Akashic Records to integrate the domain of the spiritual world into material one. You can rest assured that the happiness and joy you will attract will be infectious. As you'll be sensing not only your energy but also others. The wisdom you'll gain through accessing divine will show you are the true, your true direction of your soul, which is to embark on a journey of honesty, truth, and goodness. That you are truly invested in bettering your inner soul. Never lose this momentum as time goes by, and make sure to always invest in it. Attracting what you truly desire, awakening your true power will allow you to use this force for healing wounds, embracing yourself, and helping others. You'll notice that other people will see the change in your energy, even if they can't exactly put their finger on what has changed. Your vibration will be peaking and transcending the low plateaus, which may surprise you. You're probably not used to feeling the intense glow of your inner light. As time goes by, you'll find yourself becoming more comfortable in higher plateaus as your body and soul adapt to the higher vibrations. Live your life as a child of the divine and never create a rift between your soul and your body. by trying to hide your spirituality in higher vibrations. The Akashic Records will finally give you a chance to relinquish the harsh and restrictive limitations that have been placed on you by a world filled with illusions. The Akashic Records are never exclusive to one part of your spirituality. Instead, they involve our past, current, and future lives as one, interconnected through multiple planes of energy. One strong wound can be buried deep enough to span several lifetimes. Healing oneself through Akashic Records ensures that spiritual wounds aren't healed superficially. Since we're living in a world that's hyper-focused on survival, it's hard to find room to be able to focus on one's spirituality. Therefore, you should use the methods mentioned previously when you're completely sure that you'll be able to pour all your attention into accessing the Akashic Records. It may be hard to accustom yourself during your early trials, but once you truly see yourself, how effective the Akashic Records are, you'll be able to easily find the concentration needed. Whether it's addiction, loss, relationships, or spiritual fatigue that you're trying to heal or fix. Look at it in the eyes through accessing the Akashic Records. All the solutions you find in the records are personal and unique. And this information won't work on someone else's problems, but you can still help others access their Akashic Records and find their own solution. You may initially fear the radical transformation that can happen from using the information the Akashic Records has, but it shouldn't take you a lot of time to rejoice in happiness after fully understanding it. Opening the Akashic Records of oneself is a tremendous feat. Gaining access to the invisible yet powerful vibrations that control the flow of the universe. It may sound like science fiction, but it is not. Before you begin your journey, I highly advise you to stop and take a few deep breaths. The journey you're about to embark on will change the course of your destiny and the destiny of those around you. Every time you begin or end your reading session, accompanied with a few prospective deep and conscious breaths. This will set your intention straight, because you will be able to dedicate your full attention to what's going on. Preparing your heart is as important as preparing your mind. When accepting the information you've been aware of, along with practicing the exercises, while the roots of the Akashic Records are buried deep in ancient practices, there's a lot of recently discovered information that will help you gain access to your records smoothly. You'll gain new knowledge about stuck emotions that are vibrating at a bad frequency, and you'll gain knowledge about transforming them into higher and more joyous vibrations. You'll begin by finding lingering wounds in your past, not just in this life, but past lives too. The healing process is difficult, but once people find their way through the Akashic Records, it becomes much easier than people think. Introduction to the karma and karmatic patterns will help you gain enough insight into the historical roots that could be binding you in plateaus of low vibrations. While the information presented won't instill power or change within you, it will make sure that it is maximized and amplified. The effort you make to transform yourself, joy, is one of the main motivations for people to access the Akashic Records. And for a good reason. You're probably tired. You've probably tried to attract joy, and the result has been mostly underwhelming. And that's normal at first. Once you awaken the true power of joy within you through the Akashic Records, you'll be able to see how vibrations and energy can easily influence you in your environment. The more time you spend in the Akashic Records, the more you'll be able to properly sense joy. Attracting joy will be no problem because you'll understand the very basic dynamics that control it. Through your direct access to the Akashic Records, using the energies and vibrations flowing through your Akashic Records will give you the potential to manifest your deepest and most genuine desires. The manifestation is the product of seeing the world from a non-linear perspective, which opens up a world of opportunities blocked by a web of illusions. The limitations imposed upon you are sadly all internalized, designed to stop you from seeing the full truth. It is your responsibility to remove these restrictions through the Akashic Records. And this is what we do. It's time, family. For me, it's allowed me to recognize how magical I am. There's only two things you need to be magical, and that is attention and intention. There's only 4 factors that you need to know, and that is your belief, imagination, emotion, and clarity. And all these factors come through meditation and mindfulness. As a result of this practice of meditation, it produces clarity, allows you to maintain your emotions through the creation of the alchemic state. So it's about being in an altered state of being, or an altered state of consciousness. It's about being focused on whatever you want to do. This shit is magical. See, I understand that you have to start with something. And it all starts with a thought. And that thought can manifest into a reality. Based on your belief, your imagination, and your emotions. Because you're a human being having a spiritual experience. Actually, we are multi-dimensional beings. And as you grow into a higher state of awareness, the sky is the limit, because that universe that exists is so vast. But guess what? It exists inside of you. So when you find yourself out of balance, go check the universe and find out what's happening up there. And then you'll be able to know what's happening down here. Just like you'll know what's happening out there is actually happening inside of you. So, become one with the universe. Know your placement within it. Know that there's a greater source and that you come from that source. Stop being caught up on this religion thing. It's about nurturing the spirit. Recently, I heard a goddess drop some information about slavery and how we weren't able to read and write. The master said, no, you can't read and you can't write. But we'll allow the preacher to read and write and teach us about one book called the Bible. Now I need you to really think about that. Because back then we were given away as Christmas gifts. You mean they gave other human beings to other human beings as gifts and told them they can't read and write, but they can be taught this one book. I have nothing against the book. The book is a very powerful book when you learn how to decipher it and recognize that the heaven and hell is right here on this earth. It's not a place you go. when you leave this vessel that you're in. Please wake up, people. Please do your own research and understand what the Bible is saying to you. It's a map, because the allegories that are written in that book are written in the sky. Everything you need is within you. Learn how to read the stars. And then go back to the book. And the book is going to tell you what is written in the stars. It's how we need to follow. That's what we need to follow. It's tangible. I know that God is a spirit. It's not a person. And he's not punishing. It's not a punishing God. It's a loving God. You can't fall for the control to keep you in fear. Because the meat that you eat keeps you in fear. So change your diet. Let it go. I have nothing against people who practice religion. Because I love you. Because I'm aware that love is the highest frequency in this universe. There's nothing higher. I don't dislike you because you believe something that I don't believe. Or that's just not how it works. When you have love in your heart. Because God is love. So you can't walk around saying you're down with God and you got all this anger in you. You don't like someone because they don't believe what you believe. That's contradicting. But once you learn how to love yourself, you can love anyone because everyone exists in you. Don't make judgments against people, because God ain't about that. Love yourself. Seek the God from within, because if you're from that higher source, that source is inside of you. Seek the God that's inside of you. Stop looking outside of yourself for God. Because when you start studying these books, any religious book is going to tell you, know thyself. What are they telling you? If you're made in His image, to know self is to know God. Trust what I'm telling you. Because once you know, you don't have to make judgments. You don't have to force nothing on nobody. And that's how you know people that haven't been here, or this is their first or second time here on this planet called Earth, they're real susceptible to falling for whatever people say without doing their own research. Be a free thinker. Don't be controlled by what others tell you is. I love my parents. They only taught me what their parents taught them. and what their parents taught them. Peace and love. Tapping.